Now, one thing I've always seen when teaching functions is that the vertical line test can be a bit of a challenge. They understand it for that day because it's a simple rule, but because they're not connecting it to what they truly understand, they're not going to remember it on an assessment. So let's take a look real quick at one way we can help students make the connection to the toaster problem or to the electric bill problem. This is not a function, and one thing I will do for my students who are ready for that is I'll say, you know, if this is my husband's name and these are the two bills he gets, that's not a function. So what could we do there to make it make sense? We could have that different account number than it would be a function. We shouldn't hit two different things here. If I put in wheat bread, I should get out toast, not eggs, not waffles, not Pop-Tarts. And so really connecting it to the language that they understood will really help connect that vertical line test so that they can further understand it and apply it later in those assessments. So I love to give them this, and I will take out the function, not a function, or even take out sometimes those vertical lines here, like the blue one here, and ask them which ones are functions, which ones are not functions. I ask them to relate it back to one of the examples we talked about, one of the real life examples, whether they like the toaster. Some people like, I've seen another example is like the vending machine is like the toaster. If I hit A3, I better get out, you know, the Ruffles or whatever it is. But make them tell me why it's not a function in context of what we've already discussed, or in context of putting this into a table. Making those connections and forcing them to make those connections will put it into their long-term memory for you. So you're not reteaching this every time you have a function question in one of your units. It's pretty powerful. So going back to that example, at this point, once we go through that, again, this should now be a pretty easy question for them. And it is, but only if they retain it. And they're only going to retain it if we connect it back to what they've already learned. So connecting all of these examples and all of these numbers back to those real world examples, really going to be important.